Hello there. If you'd like to see the London shirt by the Sewing Workshop and the alterations I had to make to get it out of this beautiful fabric, stay tuned. Hello everyone, I'm Deb and this is DB Designs and Sewing Australia. Welcome to all my subscribers and welcome to anybody who is new. And a big thank you to the people who have bought me a coffee through my Ko-fi account. It is very much appreciated. Now today I have made another sewing workshop pattern. This is the London shirt and this is the line drawing for it. And I made it in this beautiful, this is a Miss Moresby fabric and it was called Christmas Markets. And I got it from a Dahlia Sewciety bespoke box. So you can either wear it collar up. So it's a big collar like the other one, which is the Frankie shirt, which is what got me onto these patterns. I love these sewing workshop patterns and I love the collars. It's a very oversized fit for me because, you know, I usually wear quite fitted things, but these shirts are just lovely. So now I didn't have enough fabric. So it is a sleeve that would come down to here, you turn it up and then you roll it up. So as you can see from the line drawing, but it's all one piece, but I did not have enough fabric to do that. I was trying to get it out of the leftover of this fabric. So I had to cut it off shorter and then create the next piece to go down further. So it has got a seam in it here. Not that you'd know that that's not in the pattern. It's still free there. It's just stitched in the ditch here, and that's how I created the cuffs when I didn't have enough fabric. I also had to cut the fronts shorter, and as I wanted it to be the same as the pattern, so I had to make it 2 centimeters shorter. I was able to get a 1/2 centimeter seam allowance, so I actually cut it 1.5 centimeters shorter, and then I created this little band to sew on the bottom. So that's how I got around that. The rest of it I had enough fabric for. Loving this shirt, and it's ideal to wear with my red jeans. It's really lovely and this fabric's just beautiful. I didn't want to waste this fabric and I only had like, I think I had 1.7 of this, and it didn't matter how I manipulated it. And to me, this fabric is slightly directional, so I wanted it to be up the right way. You can see that vase of flowers, or these flowers here. I wanted them to be up the right way, and they're somewhere on the front as well. So it was directional, and I treated it as a directional fabric. But really happy with the outcome. And because this is a slight sateen feel to it, this fabric, I can't remember if it says it was sateen or not. It's 100% cotton and has a sateen feel and look to it. Oh no, I only had 1.5 meters of it and I still got it out of it. So was able to manipulate it enough to get this shirt out of it. Now I used some buttons I had in my stash, which are the Pigeon Wishes buttons. So that's the buttons. They're multicolored. I'm not sure if they're the ones called Fairy or Fari. Not sure how they say it. But really happy with this shirt. It's just gorgeous. And I think I said you can wear it collar up or collar down. But in this case, I think I actually prefer the collar down on this one. And when I made the black one with the big white spots on it in the Audrey fabric, I didn't do a button up really high. And so this time I did a button up really high so that the collar, you were not going to be able to see the inside. Now, if you're going to be able to see the inside of something and you want to wear it really open, you can always make a facing. So rather than just your front button plackets, you can actually do a facing, which you can make. You can make your facing pattern piece out of your existing pattern piece. So if you wanted to be able to wear it open, you're just making your facing pattern piece. It's just there. So you can cut it out of your front. Now this is all one piece and it's folded over, and you can use interfacing or not. So I cut an interfacing piece for this. The interfacing is optional in these sewing workshop patterns, but I do an interfacing, and in the collar I interface the whole collar, because the collar is like, I'll find the pattern piece. This is the collar pattern piece, and so your collar ends up being folded in half like that. So I block fuse always with a collar. It's just much easier. And I like to block fuse if I'd made a whole facing, but as this was, this is just a turn back button placket, so I just cut those strips out of the interfacing and added them on there. But really happy with a beautiful shirt, and it's all very neat. In this style, the front and the back are the same length, so that's why I bothered to put that extra strip back on the front, because I wanted it to be as the pattern had intended, because I could have left that shorter, it wouldn't have mattered, it's still covered plenty, but had decided that I would do it as per the pattern. I mean, it even makes a nice overshirt if you're going to wear a t-shirt or a tank top under it. Still a very, very nice and very useful shirt, and I think it looks great with my red jeans. So, cannot wait for spring and some warm weather. It has been freezing here. It's quite mild today. I think we've had more than 43 mil of rain in the last 3 days, which is a lot. I was talking to the ladies at Pilates, and lots of them are out on farms. And they said the tanks are full and the dams are full, which is great, which means that the water's not just running off. So it doesn't flood that way, it actually soaks into the ground. So they're all really wrapped from having to come into town and do their washing at the laundromat because they've got no water left. We're lucky, we're on tank water and town water. So our tank's been empty for ages and now it's filled to the top. It does get all the runoff from all the roofs and all the outer buildings' roofs as well. So really pleased about that. What's the next thing I'm going to be doing? Remembering this beautiful fabric. It actually feels really cozy and lovely. I've washed it and dried it. Gosh, it feels nice. I was going to make this Diane von Furstenberg wrap dress. So this is a vintage Vogue pattern, and the one that's the woven is V2000, and this is V2060 because it's the knit version. So I am going to check this out. I do believe there's things that you've got to change on this pattern. because I think they have you put the interfacing onto the dress rather than the facing. Don't ever do that. The interfacing needs to be on the facing, not on the actual dress, unless you're ironing on a strip that's going to be in the actual seam line or underneath the seam line. But I will be getting on with that. I have got a few skirts to make, but they're much more spring summer skirts. Oops. And the Maison Faux grenadine skirt. Now, I made one without this section here in it, a green one. I actually wore it a couple of times when I was in Vietnam. And then after that, it was too cold here to wear. The only thing I would change on it, I really liked it because it has no waistband, so it sort of sits a little bit further down with when you're short-waisted. That's actually a nicer feel, because it doesn't feel like it's up under your boobs. And so I have got a few different fabrics, but I do want to make it slightly longer, probably only 2.5 centimeters longer. And so I've got beautiful denim, more beautiful stripy denim, and this white denim, or coconut coloured denim it's called. All of these came from the Dahlia Sewciety, and I've got 1 metre of each of them. And I'm not only going to put that different colour in there, or in the striped version, of course, you can have your stripes going down ways, and then in your insert section you can have the stripes going in the other direction. But I was also going to put in piping. I just really like the look of piping and how much more it elevates it, and I really like getting to the point of knowing where you've got to finish it so it's not going to interfere with your hem. You don't want your hem looking really thick and bulky or sticking out differently because it's got the piping in it. So I have got those, but I won't be making those up yet because they really are a bit more summery. And then Christine from Gemini Stitches had made, and I think you say Baritz Skort, and it's by Fibre Mood, and it looked really, really nice. How to wear shorts when you're not really wearing shorts. And I think there was a free pattern. So that's how you spell it for anybody that wants to download it. Yeah, and I thought hers looked really, really nice. So closer to spring, I will give that a try. Very interested to try this. Thinking I should do some type of a toile, even if it was only for, you know, up to your high hip, just to make sure it was going to work properly. I see they have got the model with it. You can wear it either way, crossover in the front, or obviously this one, crossover in the back. I don't really like the look of that high neck. If you haven't seen any of the sewing workshop patterns, go onto their site and have a look because they've got fabulous things. Anyway, that's all from me. Please like and subscribe and send me a comment. Let me know what you're sewing. Let me know if you've made any of the sewing workshop patterns. It was one of my subscribers that put me onto this pattern. So Very interested to know if everyone else has had great success with it. It does say things like you hand stitch the inside of your collar down. And I know that lots of people do not like hand sewing, but I love hand sewing, so that suits me fine. But you could stitch in the ditch basically, and it would depend, even if you're going to wear it down, you wouldn't really be able to see it. So depending how you would wear your collar, the black and white one I would definitely wear up. This one I may wear down. I quite like how it turns into a quirky little collar, like with little points. I think that looks really nice. Thank you to the subscriber who put me onto the sewing workshop. It's very good. So I will let you know how I get on with this pattern. The reviews are a bit mixed, and I think it was more in line with I don't agree with that's how you would do it. I had a great weekend, even though it was raining most of the time. Well, all of the time, really. And my eldest daughter and her husband came and stayed, and their 2 dogs. Luckily, her dogs are inside dogs, so they were happy to stay in the house. They didn't need to run around like crazy outside. So we had a lovely weekend with them. And so the rest of the time, I've just been cooking, cleaning, sewing, watched a bit of Netflix, and that's about all. Let me know what you're doing. Everybody have a great week. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.